up the volume. Pump up the volume, dance, dance.
The record when the drum beats go like this.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance, dance.
da do do do, din da da do do, din da da do do do, din da da do do, din da da do do do, din da da do do, din da da do do do, din da da do do, din da da do do do, din da da do do, din da da
Welcome to the greenhouse. You're listening to the Polynation broadcast. GroundZeroPlus.com. I'm your host, Paul Sinclair. And you're listening to Mars. It goes back to 1988. That's the 7-inch single version of Pump Up the Volume. I just thought it would be a good idea to play a song by Mars, considering most of the things that I'm going to talk about today, keyword being most, are going to be about Mars. But don't worry, I'm not going to talk about the face, I'm not going to talk about the pyramids, I'm not going to talk about the square. You know there's a big giant square on Mars? Yep, we got triangles, circles, and squares. I'm not going to talk about any of that. I'm going to focus on things that I hope people don't think about, because my brain is warped sometimes, and I think about things that many people say, why the hell would you even think about that? But then other times people are like, hey, that's a good question. Also, huge announcement. Burger King has a new burger. It's called the No Kings Burger, and it's made out of estrogen-enhanced soy and bug assholes. Enjoy it. No Kings Burger. Go get one. They're half price right now, too, for the weekend. I'm kidding. The Whopper's the way to go. Get the Whopper. Be a real human and just get the Whopper, okay? Boycott the No Kings Burger. That's what I'm saying. What's that got to do with Mars? Nothing. There's going to be some things in here that don't have anything to do with Mars, because random. And of course, as always, a plethora, a veritable cornucopia of music. We're just getting warmed up. Let's listen to Variation 5 by Space Dimension Controller on the Polynation broadcast. PPP, everybody.
running water never grows stale. So you gotta just keep on flowing. Water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Polynation broadcast. We're live every weekend, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, here on GroundZeroPlus.com and over on the Independent Broadcast Network. And you can check out both of those broadcasts also on TalkStream Live. It's an app. Yeah, TalkStream Live. Maybe I don't know, not the best place for a broadcast like mine, because more than half of it's usually music. But whatever. I digress. I'll bet you can guess which angle that we're going to explore first when it comes to Mars. I'll bet you can guess. I'm not going to give you much time to do it. But as a self-diagnosed audiophile, this is usually where I start with most things. What does it sound like? What does it sound like on Mars? I looked everywhere, scoured, and then I found out the reason why we don't have any reasonably good footage that you can really do anything with. No audio files, no nothing, and there's a good reason for it. So I'm going to play you a clip now from NASA, because we all know they're, well, let's just say they've been caught with their pants down a few times. How about that? I'm trying to keep a G-rated show here today for some reason, just to see if I can do it. So I'm going to play a little 3-minute clip here from NASA, and it's of the Mars Perseverance rover. Well, apparently there's 2 microphones on it, so don't get your hopes up, folks. Just listen to this and see if you can pick up on why there is absolutely no good footage out there of any sounds coming from Mars ever, and there probably never will be.
On NASA's Perseverance Mars rover, we have not 1, but 2 microphones. And these microphones are the very first instruments of their kind ever to go to Mars. I'm Nina Lanza, and I'm a scientist at Los Alamos National Laboratory.
Hi, I'm Justin Mackey, an imaging scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. One of the microphones is mounted on the mast and moves around as we point the cameras. The other microphone is mounted to the rover body, and it stays fixed onto the port side of the rover.
The 2 microphones that we sent were commercial off-the-shelf items. So these are things that you could just buy on the internet, and we put these on our rover.
It gives us a new dimension for which we can explore Mars and...
Wait, so you're telling me that you can land a robot on the planet surface of Mars, but you had to buy your microphones from Amazon? What the hell, guys? You got a 4K camera on there that's worth like probably more than my apartment is every month. But you can't put a decent microphone on there? Those ones are going to get clogged, man. They're going to get full of dust, full of sand, and you're not going to be able to hear anything. And guess what? That's what the rest, well, I'm still going to play it. But don't get your hopes up, because it sounds like the mics are full of sand. And why did they do that? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
learn about the Martian environment.
First, we can just learn about the atmosphere by understanding how sound propagates through it. But we can also listen to the sounds of rover analyses on rocks and learn about rock material properties from that. And finally, we can also listen to the sounds the rover makes to understand better the state of health of our instruments.
There's a difference between Mars and Earth sounds. Sounds on Earth have very rich harmonics. You can hear multiple frequencies that gives a really nice depth to the sound. On Mars, the atmosphere attenuates a lot of those higher frequencies, so you tend to hear the lower frequencies, and it's a much more isolated sound, a little more muted than the sounds we hear on Earth.
We've put together a list of some of the sounds we've recorded on Mars to date, so let's take a listen.
This is the sound of wind on Mars. For the first time, we can hear the wind blowing across the surface of Mars to go along with all of the images that we've acquired of dust devils and dust storms over the many years of exploration on the surface.
This is the sound of the rover driving on Mars. This sound might be a little bit weird because it doesn't sound like a regular.
Yeah, it sounds great. It sounds like the microphones are full of sand. That's awesome. So awesome. Why wouldn't they? I don't understand it. I mean, they could even make a microphone smaller than the ones they're showing in the video. They could even make one smaller than that could do a better job than this. And how is it that these microphones on Earth don't even last 6 months? How are they still able to work up there on Mars 3-4 years later? I don't understand what's going on here. Someone explain this to me, please. There has to be other sounds on Mars too. I mean, I'm not asking for birds or anything like that. But like, wait till you hear the next sounds.
Driving sound, but that's because the rover's wheels are made of metal. So this metal is rolling over rocks and sand, and it makes this really clanky, squeaky sound.
Next, we have the SuperCam laser zapping rocks. We've taken a lot of pictures of rocks that have been zapped by the SuperCam, the little marks in the rocks, and for the first time we can hear these laser shots.
When it zaps a rock, it actually makes a sound. We can listen to that sound and learn something about the properties of the rock that we're analyzing. This is one of my absolute favorite sounds. This is the sound of a helicopter flying on Mars.
That sound like a helicopter to you? It doesn't sound like one to me. And it's more of a drone, actually, but it doesn't even sound like a drone to me. It doesn't even sound close. And I'm also getting a little bit annoyed at the way this presenter, the woman presenter, is speaking to me. We're not in school. Maybe this is a school video. No, it's from NASA. And it was recorded, that sound was recorded 4 years ago. And when did they land up there? Well before that. They've been up there a while. And these microphones work fine. Dust storms, like half or quarter of the Earth's atmosphere, so like way more radiation, minus 225 degrees Fahrenheit most of the time. And they work fine. Except they're full of sand. So we can't hear anything on Mars. So I guess I will be as anticlimactic as possible and say that's the best we've got for hearing anything on Mars. Thankfully, I have a lot of music and other things to talk about. I know, Dats, is it a joke? Well, we're making fun of it, so technically it kind of is in the moment, but like it's a legitimate question. Is that a joke to put those kind of mics up there? What are they doing? One thing that's cool about it, though, is the mics are sensitive enough, somehow, they're sensitive enough to be able to hear a laser hit a rock and then determine its composition. Don't ask me how it does that. That's a pretty cool mic. I don't think you can buy those, actually, on the market. Can you? I have never seen one. I'll bet you the mic I'm using right now costs more money than both of the mics they put on that thing put together. It's so disappointing. Because I've often wondered, if you live in a place for millions of years that has a different atmosphere, the evolution of musical instruments must look totally different than the ones down here. What would they look like? Because they would have to look different, right? Because all the shapes of musical instruments are like, they're acoustics, geometry and acoustics, and that interacts with the air. So if the air's different, you might have to use different shapes. I don't know this, and I can't prove it. I'm sure somebody knows it. Maybe ChatGPT knows it. We're not going to ask. I got more important things to ask. You know what? They got, before we get off the sound thing, they got better sounds from, Mars has 2 moons. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but I'll tell you later. And they made more sound than these 2 microphones on these two pinhead microphones that sound like they're covered with like 8 pillows and a bunch of sand and mud. But a thing floating in space can get better sound. There's a caveat to that, but it still sounds way better. And when we come back, I will play you the 2 sounds of Mars's. Is that how you say possessive Mars? Mars's? I don't know. Whatever. You know what I mean. Here's Dusty by Mr. Jinx on the Polynation broadcast. Keep Your Nose Clean by Ex-Magician.
I've got something to say. leaving. I've been fooling, deceiving. I've been stealing, hiding. I've been calling, crying. I've been alone. I'd rather be in love. I'm gonna let it all go and fall into you. I've been longing, searching. I've been wanting, hurting. I've been looking, finding. I've been forgetting, reminding. I've been alone. I'd rather be in love. I'm gonna let it all go and fall into you. Just want to let it all go, falling for you. Living, learning, receiving, returning. I've been told, freeing. I've been loving, being. I've been alone. I'd rather be in love. I'm gonna let it all go and fall into you. Just want to let it all go, falling for you. Just want to let it all go, falling for you. Falling to you.
Smiles for miles. Good vibes for all tribes. You're listening to the Polynation broadcast. And if you're over at groundzeroplus.com and you're a member and you're in the chat room, then you're also in the greenhouse, which I appreciate. It's always good to have company in here. And one thing you will not find in the greenhouse is something called drama. I think I have a new acronym for drama. I think I made it up. I may not have, but I'm pretty sure I made it up. Drama is an acronym for doesn't really amount to much anyway. And that's what drama is to me. That's why it doesn't exist here. We don't even care about drama in the greenhouse. We got enough to worry about. There's weeds growing everywhere. There's plants that need watering. There's ideas that need discussed. Oh, and we also have to listen to those 2 moons. Why don't we do that now? So the first moon is Phobos. Don't ask me what the name means. To me, it sounds kind of silly. And this moon could literally fit inside Texas, I'm pretty sure. It's pretty small. But it has a sound. And I should explain how they generate this sound. It's not the same as a microphone, really. It's more like an antenna that's picking up radio signals and magnetic field stuff. Super low tech compared to a microphone even. But the sounds that it made, I'll bet you some of you listening will find some of these sounds familiar, which is kind of fascinating in a way. But here's Phobos. Here's what it sounds like. That's what Phobos sounds like. It sounds like it's singing. But all we hear on Mars is... Oh, listen to the wind. Give me a break. Why don't they put this kind of microphone on Mars and see what it sounds like? That'd be much better. The next one's called Deimos. I don't. When are they gonna? They're changing the name of schools and stuff, and street names and city squares because of the history of the people they're named after. But we don't change the names of any of these moons into like a normal name. Like, I don't know, Dave or something. Here's Deimos, what it sounds like. I think Deimos sounds a little bit better. Does anyone else think that sounded like Darth Vader?
Just recently I heard that in these new...
Hang on, Russell, hang on. I thought that sounded like Darth Vader. And it's named Deimos. Wonder if there's any inspirational things going on there. Probably not. It's probably just a coincidence. Hey, did you ever wonder... Everybody knows Mars is the associated with the god of war. Both sometimes referred to as Aries. That's the Greek version. Which is weird because Aries is also a zodiacal sign. And Mars is not. Mars is a luminary. Aries is an actual zodiacal sign. And so that got me thinking, maybe the reason why Mars is always associated with blood and war. Because the most obvious answer is, well, if you look at it, it's red. Red kind of symbolizes blood. Well, I don't know, it depends. Why does red symbolize blood? Is it because blood's red? Because I could name a million other things that are red. Blood is shed during war. There you go. But it was making me wonder, did they pay attention to what constellation Mars is in before anyone wages war? Kind of like, I think Clyde mentioned something about this the other night, actually. Talking about how Mars is in Leo right now. I wonder if the ancients paid attention and planned their battles around when Mars was visible in what constellation, and what the hell happens when Mars is actually in Aries. Do we even want to find out? So I tried to find out where the position of Mars was during every single war. But I think I'm going about it the wrong way. So I might be able to do that during the show, but I'm going to need help. And I don't even know if AI can answer that for me. But it would be interesting to note, where was Mars during Hiroshima? Or where was Mars during D-Day? Or where was Mars during Vietnam? Or any of the battles in World War I? Or, you get my drift. I mean, just keep naming the famous battles. All the Civil War battles. All of them. I'll bet you that they were paying attention to the position of Mars. And there probably is more than one advantageous position for Mars to be in order to wage war. So that's my theory. But it turns out the real reason why they named this celestial object after their gods of war was simply because it was red. That's the consensus of what I can find. Just because it was red. That's it. If it had been, like, I wonder if it had been yellow, what would they have named it after then? How about orange? What do they name purple things? Seems kind of silly. I don't buy it. I don't think I'm going to take that as imperial fact. It's an interesting theory. I think maybe we got something wrong in the translation here. Also, there's one other thing about Mars, especially on the surface, that this goes back to those rovers. I don't know which one discovered this. But there's something on Mars that, well, most people down here think that it shouldn't belong there. I have some theories on that. Like, maybe it should belong there. But I'll save that for a bit, because I want to play... What do I want to play? So much to choose from today. Yeah, let's do that. Black Mamba by Pablo Bolivar. Never heard of him. It's a Polynation broadcast. We'll be right back. Talking about Mars. Okay, I'm back. What were we talking about? I'm kidding. Still talking about Mars. There's one last thing that I gotta get off my chest about Mars. And that is the discovery of Xenon 129. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Apparently, the only way you can have concentrations like they found on Mars of Xenon 129, that's some kind of a element or something. Don't ask me. All I know is there's only a couple ways to get it. Well, this much of it, according to nuclear physicists, and I'm going to believe them because they believe themselves. The only way you can get this concentration of Xenon 129 is if a huge nuclear explosion went off on the surface. That's what they say. How big? Like 1,000 megatons. That's how big. That's how big. Somebody described it. The bomb would have to be the size of the Empire State Building. Could you imagine? I don't know how big bars. What was it called? The biggest bomb, the hydrogen bomb. Why do I can never remember that name? It's because it's Russian. Anyways, that one. I don't know what that one is in kilotons. It may have been in megatons. I think it was still kilotons back then. But anyways, Hiroshima, around 20 kilotons. So, yeah, that's a pretty impressive boom. If you know what I'm saying. And they say, because there's a decay rate of the... Oh, it's an isotope. That's what it is. It's not a mineral. It's an isotope. And isotopes age. That's how they do a lot of the dating down here on Earth. Well, they, I guess, dated it, but I mean, this seems like a pretty broad range. The dating could be anywhere from 150 to 300 million years. So it's a gap of 150 million years. What? And that's an acceptable estimate? A gap of 150 million years that's an acceptable way of dating something? What do you mean this isotope has a way of dating things? You could be off by 149 million years. Anyways, I think there's another way it got there. And I think it has probably more to do with the sun. It can lose its temper sometimes. And sometimes it can do it more than once in a short span of time. 150 million years. So, Mars used to have an atmosphere, water, the whole bit. Seemed like a pretty cool place. But it's really small. It's not as big as Earth. And so it doesn't have as much protection from the sun. In fact, I think it's only like a quarter of the size of the Earth or something like that. It's not very big. It's not that much bigger than our moon. I think the best way to think of it is if you join up all the land masses on Earth, that's about the surface area of Mars. That one's easy to visualize. So it doesn't have the same core. The core is smaller, which means way less magnetic field to protect it from solar wind and stuff like that. And also there are times when Mars is pointing in a different direction in relationship to the sun than we are. And these outbursts from the sun, they can be quite impressive. They can eject enough mass that's like the size of Jupiter. Like 8 Earths can just all of a sudden pop out of the sun and hurl towards the planet Whatever it's pointing at, that's where it's going. And if Mars was in the way of 2 of those within 150 million years, then that's how you get that isotope on the surface. Simple, right? But I'm no nuclear physicist, so whatever. Other than that, I don't think there's really that much interesting about Mars. I don't think there's a really good reason to go there. The movies were good. I wish they would keep making Mars movies. Mission to Mars was one of my favorite space movies of all time. And that has the coolest theory. I won't spoil it yet. Okay, now you had your warning. So basically the theory is that we were seeded from Mars. The people we used to live on Mars, and we came to Earth because we knew Mars was fucked, and if we didn't leave, we're done. So I think maybe that could be a possibility. I mean, who knows what happened 150 million years ago? Can you even imagine that length of time? Rocks don't even imagine that length of time. Mountains don't even think about that kind of time. Maybe stars, that's it. Maybe planets, moons. But, like, how are we supposed to think in terms of time that's that long? That's what makes a lot of this really confusing. Or at least hard to wrap my head around. It's like, but I can't. Yeah, it doesn't compute. It's too big. So that's fascinating. Wonder how that stuff got up there. I would say it's the sun. Some people say it has to be a nuclear weapon. But my argument for it being the sun is basically a giant nuke. It is always exploding. So it's kind of the same thing to me. If a nuke can make that, then the sun can make it too. Because it's kind of the same power. The sun's way stronger. Don't tell that to the people making nukes. Jesus. We'll be in for it after that. If they find that out. I hope none of them listen to the show. But I'm glad you're all here. And probably spend the rest of the show lightening the mood. And, well, we might talk about one other thing on Mars. But I don't know. There's some tunes and some clips. Some things that I hope will make you laugh. Because we need a lot of laughter. This week has been a absolute bong show. No, not gong show. Bong show. Because I literally think the people in power are smoking something. And it's probably out of a bong filled with something else. It's nuts. So here's The Birth of Light by Binker and Moses, Yusuf Days, and who else? Binker Golding. Never heard of any of them. But if you haven't, now you have. And I have too. That was World Soul by Vinyl Williams. I got two things to say about this song. For one, World Soul is definitely what we should be thinking about. And for two, there's a parent out there somewhere that named their child Vinyl Williams. And I'm a bit jealous I didn't think of that. You could just call him Vin for short. I might change my son's name to that, actually. I'm joking. I know he's not listening. And he has a cool name anyways. So I had this planned for last week, but I didn't get around to it. And I can't remember why. Oh, it was because last week I was talking about the moon a lot. And I forgot to play a clip. It's one of the most hilarious phone calls in TV history, I think. So I'm going to play it for you now. Hopefully you recognize it. And hopefully I remember to mute myself so I don't laugh into the mic. This is the Polynation Broadcast. You're listening. We're live, by the way, if you're wondering. We're live every weekend from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern, that is. You do the time zone conversion. ChatGPT or Grok can do it. And we're on groundzeroplus.com and also the Independent Broadcast Network. And where else? Oh, well, if you do miss the show, then you're probably listening to it on YouTube because I figured out a way to do that now. Sort of a temporary archive, if you will. So let's get into this conversation. I'm pretty sure it's not one of those visual things. It should work. Let me know if it doesn't.
So I threw the Senate at him. The whole Senate. True story.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
You made it come out of my nose.
Go for Papa Palpatine.
You have a collect call from
Darth Vader.
I gotta take this. Hold on. Vader, how's my favorite Sith? Whoa. Just slow down. Huh? What do you mean they blew up the Death Star? Oh, who's they? What the hell is an aluminum falcon? Okay, so who's left? Are you me? Well, where are you? Wait a sec, you've been flying around for 2 weeks trying to get a signal? Oh, you must smell like feet wrapped in leathery burnt bacon. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought my Dark Lord of the Sith could protect a small thermal exhaust port that's only 2 meters wide. That thing wasn't even fully paid off yet. Do you have any idea what this is going to do to my credit? Hang on, I got another call. What? I'm very busy right now. Oh, well, where are they going? Huh, all right, just get me a turkey club. Coleslaw, I guess. I'm not even going to eat it. What are you getting? Yeah, see, I always order the wrong thing. No, I'll just stick with that. Okay, bye. Wait, what? Oh, cherry Coke. Thanks. Sorry about that. What? Oh, just rebuild it? Oh, that real f***ing original. And who's gonna give me a loan, jackhole? You? You got an ATM on that torso light bright? Now get your 7'2" asthmatic ass back here, or I'm gonna tell everyone what a whiny bitch you were about Padamame or Panda Bear or whatever the hell her name is. Oh, jeez, he's crying. Hey, come on, don't do that. Just, look, I'm just dealing with a lot of crap right now. Death Star blown up by a bunch of teenagers, I didn't mean to snap. Okay, just get back here. Okay, bye. I love you too.
Believe me. If I started murdering people,
you ever hear the Mars was a moon theory? I'd never heard about it until just, I don't know, maybe a month ago. I'll tell you about that when we come back. It's a Polynation broadcast. Ground Zero Plus. IBN, man.
was on Reddit the other day like a loser, and I read that the American military doesn't accept trans people into their ranks. Just like you, I was upset. Let them die. If they want to, let that bitch, let they die. But then I thought about it, and it kind of makes sense why, as a military force, you don't want trans people on your ranks, because let's be honest, they have a history of switching sides. I don't want to see you walking around Kabul market trying on turbans like, oh my God, this is so me. I don't want no...
I think that part of modernity is this constriction of trying to put limits on people's vision of what's possible. I'm trying to do my part to inspire and stimulate people to think beyond the constrictions of what we consider socially acceptable, socially normal, because we are in a situation where I think we desperately need wisdom. I'm inspired and feeling optimistic because I've gotten to know a lot of the younger people now who really are asking serious questions and looking for serious answers and realize that it's an artificial reality that we've been indoctrinated into. It's dangerous for the authoritarian institutions for people to try to break out of that straitjacket. And we're seeing it. I think we're seeing the attempt to control the narrative. In America, the idea is, well, no, you can't. If it doesn't fit our particularly imperialistic plans, no, we're not going to allow you to become an autonomous, self-governing entity. You have to stay under the umbrella of the empire.
This is Soul Dance by Duplicator. Talk about spacey. I kind of dig that track. I don't know why. I do have a criteria for what songs make it on the show, and I wish I could describe it for people, but I just can't do that. Except that it's plant-friendly, it's psychedelic-friendly, it's not usually scary, unless you don't like... Well, there have been occasional times where we've had to, like, metal out, but that's just to get it out of you. You gotta do it, like, once in a while. But other than that, it's very friendly. So, there's another theory. Mars used to be a moon. Hell, maybe Earth used to be a moon. There's all kinds of theories that we'll never know. But I like this theory because it seems like there's evidence of it. I'll explain. There used to be another planet, and it was pretty big. It had a moon the size of Mars. In fact, it had a moon that was Mars. And something happened to this planet that caused it to explode. Like Death Star explode. So debris goes flying everywhere, in all directions, but mostly along the ecliptic, because gravity. And the remnants of this exploded planet, I guess it got too excited, is what we now call the asteroid belt. I mean, think about there's this huge canyon on Mars. You can actually see it through a telescope, I think. Like a fairly modest telescope, you can see it. And it's magnitudes of order bigger than the Grand Canyon. And some people don't think that it's a geological formation, but what if it just had like a piece of that planet that exploded, the one I was talking about earlier? What if it just grazed the planet and carved out, like, you know how the Titanic hit the iceberg? What if it did that? Would that still count as geological formation? Or would that be cosmic formation? I don't know, but I'd say that's a possibility. Some people have suggested that it was like some kind of huge weapon, like a death ray, and they just obliterated all the cities that happened to be in that line, and it left that canyon. Some people think that, whatever. Some people attribute that theory to the amount of, was it Xenon 129? Maybe. Or a planet, let's say you're a moon of a planet, and that planet explodes. It's probably not a good day. I would imagine you'd lose most of your atmosphere. So it explains losing the atmosphere. It explains the asteroid belt, even though people have argued there's not enough mass in the asteroid belt to make up a planet. Well, there's an argument for that, and I'd say it's a feasible argument, and that is, well, a lot of it, because it exploded, a lot of it didn't get caught by the gravity of the sun, or Jupiter even, and it just kept going. In fact, they've run simulations where if a planet explodes, you would only expect to see around 5% remnants left in the orbit plane, the ecliptic. And so the math works out. There's only 5% out in the asteroid belt. So that's cool. I mean, that explains that, right? But we still don't know, because we weren't there. And there's a huge window of time. 150 million years, something happened within that 150 million years. Even if you had a time machine, how would you be able to go back and check when that was? That's not a good enough date for me. It needs to be more precise. I guess what I'm saying is, we don't really know anything about Mars, and if we did know anything important about it, they're not going to tell us. They probably told Elon. Maybe that's why he wants to go to Mars so much. Maybe he should be the first one to go. I bet you he'd say no. That's just a gut feeling. Or maybe by then, if someone has the balls to ask him, how come you don't go, Elon? Is it because your rockets keep blowing up? I understand your hesitation. But once they start working, you better go. Bezos did it. What's his name did it? The Virgin Airlines guy. Branson, that guy. He did it. So you better do it, Elon. You better be the first person on Mars. And then we'll just leave you there and take over all your businesses. Don't worry, they're in good hands, Mr. Musk. Or maybe we should call you Mr. Mars instead. I don't know. Hey, did you ever notice if you take a Mars bar out of the wrapper, okay, and you look at it from the top down, and then you look at a picture of Worf from Star Trek, it looks the same. And Worf is an alien, and most original aliens came from Mars. So did they design the Mars bar after the Klingon, or did they design the Klingon's poor forehead after the Mars bar? And if, let's say you did live on Mars, I wonder if they have an Earth bar. It sounds kind of good if you're a hippie, I guess. An Earth bar? Do you want one? We have some in the greenhouse. They're in the back. Help yourself. They've been there for a while. No one seems to like the Earth bars, but the Mars bars fly off the shelf. I'm pretty sure that's about all I gotta say about Mars today. I'm getting kind of sick of it up here. It's dusty. My microphone's getting clogged up. Let's get back into some more music. And, oh yeah, don't forget, at 4:20, which is in like 45 minutes-ish from now. 35 minutes. stop the show again and shout out the chat room. Probably won't stop the show until then, because I feel like busting through some tunes here. I got kind of behind on my list here. But there's always tomorrow, because we are back tomorrow, Sunday, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Ground Zero Plus, Independent Broadcast Network. Every weekend. I don't think I've missed a weekend yet. Maybe one. When I was on Independent Broadcast Network. Still am on Independent Broadcast Network, I'm just saying. Before I got on GZP. Jeezy Peasy. That's my new nickname for Ground Zero Plus. Jeezy Peasy. Because that's what it is in the greenhouse. Everything's Jeezy Peasy. Nothing to worry about here. Because we're on Earth. Maybe we should pay attention to what's going on down here instead of going to Mars. Wonder if Elon took all the money he spent on going to Mars to bombing Iran. This thing would be over by now. I'm not condoning bombing Iran. I just said that for some reason.
lovers, fighters, lovers, fighters, more lovers, fighters, more lovers, fighters.
the mycelium of underground sounds. The Polynation broadcast. My name's Polly. You can call me Paul if you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. Why the hell do people say that? I don't even get that joke, but I always say it and people laugh, and I'm like, that's not funny. I'm gonna look that up. And that just totally distracted me from what I wanted to say. It's called ADD, folks. Oh, squirrel. No, there was one thing I wanted to mention. One last thing about Mars. And its relationship to war. It's not just the Greeks and the Romans. It's the Babylonians. It's the Mayan. And a few others. They all consult Mars for advice on war. Meaning, they wait for it to be in a certain spot in the sky before they decide to cut everybody's heads off. Or, I mean, back then that's what it was. But now we can just drop a nuke. So it's, I'm going to keep my eye on Mars because I think maybe Mars has got a bit of an attitude problem. And maybe we need to put Mars in a corner for a bit to think about stuff, you know? Because it's getting out of hand down here, Mars. Like, what are you doing? And what did we do to you? Oh, 2 robots and a few other crash probes, and one of them you didn't even give back. It's not like we've mined you or anything, Mars. Give us a break down here. It's kind of getting crazy. I mean, seriously, don't make me turn this planet around, Mars. 'Cause I'll do it. Start behaving, alright? Quit causing stuff. Sick of it. And I think everybody else is going insane. And they don't even know why. But it's because of Mars. Tell Mars to shut the hell up. Mind its own business. Look, you look at your atmosphere, okay? You think ours is bad. Yeah, we're spraying everywhere and pollution and all that stuff, but at least we have one. Take your Grand Canyon or your... I'm just going to call it a gash. Take your gash and turn the other way. Shut up for a second. Let us work things out down here by ourselves. I'm not saying that's going to work, but at least give us a chance, okay? Stop meddling. I think Mars and Mercury are like in cahoots. They like to meddle in stuff. And ironically, they're both very high in metal. I didn't do that on purpose. It's just coincidence. Don't even look into it. So here's a double shot on the Polynation broadcast. Again, the mycelium of underground sounds. You may have heard this next artist. Double shot from DJ Crush on the Polynation broadcast. IBN, Ground Zero Plus. Jeezy peasy, folks.
早起さもの遠く飛び起きな新世界に突撃か以前鍵穴のぞく覗きまか異次元空間へとつながる無限の可能性秘めた扉が開かれる最終ステージクリアしてもまた現れる次のステージ迷ってる暇があんなら100数えるうちに走り出せさ早く3年は寝たろこのぐうたら野郎心の門番はたぬき寝入りさ起こせこんばんはこっからが本番だ最上階めがけ駆け上がる螺旋階段出たとこ勝負できないぜ U ターン放送都市東京バックしまったデータバンク上がるか下がるか行き先すら忘れたエレベーター止まってたら気が狂いそうさ金網越えて進めその先開かすの間の鍵はてめえで探すのさシンガーソングファイター燃やせチャカハカバカむき出しの牙歪む磁場不規則に回り出す恋磁石気がつきゃ当たり一面静着悩みが視界着危機開会スリルとスキルに満ち満ちた野蛮チュールな形成の夜俺は冷静沈着なモルダー相棒もすっかりやる気さ誰もが必要異常に計画必要異常に求める快楽目に見えない水槽の中で飼いなら 光と悲しみを希望に変えて腐った水素ひっくり返せ走れアディオス
but he smoked too many Dutches. Situation made me sober as fuck as he coughed up blood, telling me he's stuck. Gunman drove off in a Yukon truck. Said a prayer for him, hoping that his soul was blessed. Cause my hands couldn't cover all the holes in his chest. His eyes told a story that his heart was diminished. The ambulance took about an hour, 10 minutes. They didn't have to tell me that my son life was finished. I guess his heart never knew the love that was in it. Yeah, word up, going back. If your heart stop beating, I'll go back in time. Make your heart beat again, real niggas to the end. It's all about cash and diamond rings, dedicated, cause real niggas do real things. If your heart stop beating, I'll go back in time. Make your heart beat again, real niggas to the end. It's all about cash and diamond rings, dedicated, cause real niggas do real things. Real things, real niggas do real things. Through his eyes, I seen the next light flash in front of his. Cock back the gap, wondering who the gunner is. The blood drenched in his almighty linen. I guess that's the karma of a thug when he's sinning. From the beginning, I reminisce the younger years when we were younger peers on the block pouring out beers. And now the tears, I can't stop from coming. I wanna bring it to this nigga blazing while he running. It seems stunning the way we started in the game. I never won it. My son dying in his pain. Now the nigga who shot him, I wanna find him and kill him. Heard he's a willie and keep a bunch of killers with him. The Jake snatched him up, so I just had to forget him. But on the low, if I ever see him, I'ma hit him. Bust the slug in the heart of a true thug. It's real love, this is what a real nigga does. If your heart stop beating, I'll go back in time. Make your heart beat again, real niggas to the end. It's all about cash and diamond rings, dedicated, cause real niggas do real things. If your heart stop beating, I'll go back in time. Make your heart beat again, real niggas to the end. It's all about cash and diamond rings, dedicated, cause real niggas do real things. What, yo? Real niggas do real things. Word up, yo. Real niggas, yeah. Yo, 41st side, Queensbridge, yo. Yo, the words cut like a knife. Maya's son was shot. Her mouth wide open, seemed like a heart drop. She fell to the floor with her eyes a shot. I was standing there stuck off the words I said. Worst thing to tell her mother that her son was dead. Shoulda knew what love is before he learned what a thug is. Now we left his kids to be raised by their mothers. From the cradle to the grave, we was like brothers. Went to same schools and fucked the same bitches. Pumped on the same block with the same snitches. Burned a lie on the roof talking about riches. And I remember when we was both 5%ers, going hand in hand, getting bent, crashing renters. And now the end is justifying all the means. That's just a story when you're dying out in Queens, and it's real. Word up, yo, 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 yeah, yo. If your heart stop beating, I'll go back in time. Make your heart beat again, real niggas to the end. It's all about cash and diamond rings, dedicated, cause real niggas do real things. If your heart stop beating, I'll go back in time. Make your heart beat again, real niggas to the end. It's all about cash and diamond rings, dedicated, cause real niggas do real things. If your heart stop beating, I'll go back in time. Make your heart beat again, even if you don't get no bigger. It's all about cash and diamond rings, dedicated, cause real niggas do real things. If your heart stop beating, move, foreign exchange, how we do, yo. The yens, world currency, the way the dollar bends, and it haunts me, it wants me, it traps me in a hole, reaching for my soul, fuck it, yo.
If your heart stop beating, I'll go back in time, make your heart beat again, real niggas to the end. It's all about cash and diamond rings, dedicated.
Uh-oh. Am I allowed to play a song that has the N-word in it? Because it's not me saying it, right? I'm just kidding. I don't really care.
Real things.
you doing? Ben, I'm a scientist.
Polynation broadcast. We're back. Guess what time it is? It's 4:20. And we're live. Ground Zero Plus, Independent Broadcast Network. Come check us out, groundzeroplus.com. Become a member. Just try it out. It's only $10 for the month. It's 33 cents for the day. If you don't like it after the month, and believe me, after listening to Ground Zero Plus for a month, even if you only listen to my show, that would be, let's do the math, 24 hours of music you've probably never heard of before, spaced out over the span of a month in 3-hour segments. Let me know if my math is wrong there. Anyways, when you become a member, you're also in the chat room, hopefully, or you at least have access to it, and many other things. Not to mention all the other great shows that are on Ground Zero Plus. Clyde Lewis being the GOAT of Ground Zero Plus. So what we do here at the Polynation broadcast, and I'm so glad you've joined me, Zoe. You're just in time. What we do is stop the show at 4:20 and shout out the greenhouse, which is the chat room, Ground Zero Plus. When you become a member, you click on members content, go down to chat room, boom, you're there. Easy. And if you don't like it after a month, you can leave. You can still listen. But I suggest you stick around, because it's only going to get better. So in the greenhouse today, we have, other than myself, Rich Rounds is in there. Do you want me to say the other name, Rich? Really? Rusty Hosner trombone. I like your sense of humor, bro. And stay tuned, because Cryptic Dark Side with Rich Rounds is coming up. I think today is usually on Sundays, but I think it's today. Let me know if I got that right, Rich. And good to see you, by the way. Thanks for coming out. Lisa's in there as well. Brother Mike Mont is in there. Good to see you. Glad you had some time off. We'll probably connect later at some point. Maybe you can give me a call tomorrow if I can figure this stuff out with Teams. We got Sonny in there. Good to see you, Sonny. Always wearing shades, of course. Datsun Focus is in there. Working hard, probably. But listening, I know. Keep going, Dats. You're doing it. We got Tally in there. Starting a new podcast soon. Can't wait to hear it. We got Dez in there. A little quiet today, Dez. Seen only a couple gifts from you, but hey, it's got the headphone icon. I imagine you're listening. We got Miss B, that's my nickname for Barban, Miss B. And you should see her gifts in the greenhouse. Some of them are quite astounding, actually. I don't know how she does it, but it's really cool. Check them out. Of course, in order to do that, you got to become a member. Join chat room. And we got Mad Catter in there, and Brother Rich Smith, long-time listener, and someone I'd consider a friend. Anybody who has it's like a pronoun, brother. It means I've known you for a long time, and you've been here for a long time. And it's kind of like a more modest way of saying sir. It's like the Poly Nation is knighting you, in a way. Because the people in the chat room, they often influence the show. Oh, it's tomorrow night. Sorry, Rich. Tomorrow night. And that's what time? Because time zones, dude. I can't remember what time zone is where. I'm not even sure what time zone Rich lives in. Some people in here sometimes live in the UK. Got people from all time zones. It's very confusing, which is why I hate time zones. Don't get me started on time zones. Anyways, Rich will post that in the greenhouse. And I want to say it's 7 o'clock Pacific. But it might be 9. I don't know. Sorry, Rich. Anyways, there's a schedule page. You can check that out, too. You'd think there'd be a schedule page, right? Yeah, there is. It's 9 p.m. Pacific. Thank you, Rich. I didn't know how long I was going to be able to stall there. Anyways, not that I need to, because there's plenty of music left, and a lot we're not going to get to, but I'll just push it over for tomorrow. And stay tuned, because tomorrow is I Have No Idea. Absolutely no idea. And so we'll just see what happens. But it'll be fun. And there'll be plenty of music you haven't heard before, hopefully. It's kind of the thing here. They still make good music now, folks. They just don't play it on the radio. Maybe you might find it on some college or university stations, if they even still have those. But you'll find it here. Every weekend, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturdays and Sundays. So thank you all for being here in the greenhouse. And if you're listening, thanks for listening. So without further ado and harassment from my cat, we'll get back into some more music, because she'd rather me play music than speak. Sometimes. She's in a bad mood. I don't know what's wrong with her. Probably all this talk about Mars and stuff. She doesn't like Mars. She's a lunar feline. So whenever I start talking about Mars, she gets defensive and kind of she doesn't take care of herself. It's really sad. Anyways, enough about Mars. Let's get back into some tunes. Poly Nation Broadcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. My name's Polly, and I'll be right back.
In the real world, it isn't necessary to square the circle with absolutely perfect mathematical precision. Ancient philosophers, geometricians, and builders had several methods by which they could approximate the squaring of the circle with near exactitude, and there are multiple examples of these techniques being employed in a wide variety of times and places around the world and throughout history. The idea here is that one does not need to realize perfection in the manifested realm, rather a close enough approximation to effectively induce resonance among the parts, and the whole system will suffice. As an example, the human ear, unless highly trained, would not hear the difference between the note A in the diatonic scale, vibrating at 440 hertz or cycles per second, and the note A vibrating in the Verdi scale at 432 cycles per second. So reiterating a fundamental idea. At the core of the philosophy of sacred geometry is the idea of harmony and how it might be achieved through the reconciliation of opposing forces, systems, or events.
And I'll be in the chat room here at groundzeroplus.com for that. So I'll see you later. I might take a nap, but maybe not. I might just keep going. Just keep on going until I get there. You sleep when you're dead, you know what I mean? No, I don't think you sleep when you're dead. I don't think you need to sleep after you die. That's the beauty about being dead. You don't need to sleep. Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Stay bright.
It's like the blind can't see or can't afford what they not. And sometimes the blind can see, but they don't see with their eyes. Time is almost up for the list, I'm just peeping the clock. I seek and I watch how they continue to thicken the plot. I peep it a lot, how it's cold and it's hot. Polarities are shifting the shock, hard to unlock. The sleep, the sheep, the living dead. Got the snooze button on lock, but I'm on point like my bullets loaded in stock. I split your family like crack rock. Padlock on my mind, but I keep it open a lot. My power ain't blocked, in just cycle like a period when it stops. Dots, now watch these niggas go running and flop. Yeah, I want the whips, the glamour, the glitz, the hips, the sauce, the drips, the fits, the drums, the clips. A bitch to hit, no wife, only kids. Y'all play with your lives like you fiending for death's kiss. Until death grants you a wish. Bargain with your soul, you'll be intimate with. Then deeper in the base, simple as this. Put a quarter in my back and I'm calling the blitz. I'm armored with a goon's fits. The more I reminisce, the more I resist what the masses prefer. Remember myself is when the magic occurs. I am the sacred blood during the afterbirth. Eliminate the blur, focus your lens, redefine your aperture. These petals ain't gonna bloom themselves. The union is the bond, children is the riches, and the village is the wealth. It's obsolete to play the game when the cards ain't been dealt. This depth is hard to feel when this ain't been felt. I pass fools from the mental to classrooms. Vast room with intuition that can last you. I add to, subtract to. My word is bond, but I break rules or promises like this a glass roof. I relay jewels from the most high when my spirit get in the mood. Making room like a loose tooth. Ticket to heaven when I get in the booth. You laugh at the wise but pity the fools. So what am I to do?
Sometimes you get roadblock, you feeling like time stop. You speaking your heart, but who's feeling? Blind leading the blind, but you're on the line. You're pressing play, but who's really feeling? Where do you go? Where do you go? You to compromise your art, but you keep refusing to refuse. Where do you go? Where do you go? Where do you go?
Where do you go? See, it's like the blind can't see or can't afford what they not. It's sometimes the blind can see, but they don't see with their eyes.
Just recently I heard that in these new intravenous DMT experimentations, they're putting their subjects under MRI, and some of the entities that are being encountered in these DMT IV states are asking what's going on with the MRI, what's going on with the scanning, who's doing that scanning. When I heard this, I thought about the numerous times I've encountered mentally ill people who say things along the line, indeed it's a cultural cliche, where else do we get the expression aluminum foil hat? Mentally ill people often believe that their thoughts are being intercepted, interceded and observed by entities, often in alignment with the government. It occurred to me just recently when thinking about MK Ultra and the various experiments that took place with psychedelics and experimentation on mentally ill people, that potentially there's a clandestine and secondary history even with recent events such as this. That potentially the reason that mentally ill people who glitch and are outside of the main circuitry sense that there may be entities observing them is because there are.
you have never been. I wanna show you something you have never seen.